Every day in my classroom, it is documented, I try to put at least 4 to 5 of these different types of learning styles or intelligences within my lesson to give them a greater chance of understanding everything that's going on. Now, with whole brain research, you must understand that it's been proven that there is a substantial relationship between emotion and information. Emotion actually can be either a catalyst or a blocker for the actual things that are going on inside of our classroom. And when you think about that, that's why people often talk about relationships and the positive climate and culture for your school and what's going on inside of your classroom. Because more importantly, if you can connect with that child and get them to buy in emotionally, you have something magical that's going to happen on your hands. But oftentimes in education, we don't really do that. Sometimes I feel we can do a better job at that. So as a former reading teacher and a reading teacher now, I often try to find ways to make sure I can pull context from different cultures to ensure that my students are learning. But as research begins to progress and we look, it doesn't really exist inside of the education system right now. This study was done on children's books. And as you can see, animals are represented more than most students of color. So with that understanding, how can a student be excited to be inside of your classroom where they cannot necessarily see themselves represented in a way? Miriam Wright Edelman says, "You can't be what you can't see." And I thought that was a powerful quote in the sense of how can we give the students the best instructional material possible to make sure they're engaged with everything that is going on. That's why I took a little risk this year. I decided to do an actual book study on Dear Martin. The middle school students loved it, 6th grade loved it, but it's about a young man named Justice. Now, Justice is absolutely brilliant. Justice has a way of being a personality that people just love being near him. He just loves learning inside of school. And during the very first chapter, as a young African-American male who goes to a phenomenal school inside of his city and district, he experiences police brutality. And next thing you know, you begin to see intergenerational trauma and things unfold. And then Justice actually starts to date, have a white girlfriend. And next thing you know, the story just begins to unravel. And all the students inside of the class are glued to the book because they can see themselves within that actual story at times. What ended up happening was school counties, superintendents started to ban this book and say that it wasn't acceptable for school. And the author made a phenomenal statement. She says, if you ban this book, you're trying to say that any student who has these experiences, your story really doesn't matter. Inside of education, we have a responsibility and a right to make sure we're doing things and make sure we're increasing the emotion that's connected to learning within our classrooms. Is it always easy? No, it is not. But I guarantee you it is definitely worth it.